In the hollow where the shadows fall, we gather round, we hear the call. Liquid fire from the mountains head burns like truth, but it tastes like sand. Oh, it sure feels right at the end of the day. Drink it up, let the story stay. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. So thick it hums and sings, a slow dance wrapped in unseen strings, clear as glass, but it bites like a snake, sharp and cold, every breath we take. Oh, the stars know our sins tonight. Set that burn till the world spins right. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. Secrets deep, the kind you tell, the kind you keep. Ashes rise like ghosts in flight, fading fast into the night. Oh, it sure feels right. Cracks loud, we lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd.
Hello, hello. Excuse me. Welcome. Can you hear me? Am I on? Have I won anything? Good evening all, good morning all, good afternoon all, good day all. My apologies. Hello, sweetheart. Oh dear. It's a comedy of errors today, I'm afraid. My alarm didn't go off. Brandy's slept in and I can't get hold of Tyre, so I'm trying to redirect the stream and change it to something that has come to my attention yesterday that needed to be addressed anyway, so we can try and kill two birds with one stone. Thank you, sweetheart. Awesome. Now, as you know, I am or have been an avid pro Mickey Stein's supporter, so to speak. And some information came out yesterday that I discovered that is not in favour, really, of Mickey Stein's and his participation, so to speak. And I will go into it. But so there's some documents that were dropped yesterday. So there is, hang on, let me get back to it. Where is it? Some findings basically that have come out through the judicial system. The order denying his motion to dismiss has been denied, and his order to unseal his psych evaluation has been denied as well. But he has been granted a bond hearing. Yes, bond hearing. Let me bring that up. Okay, share this one instead for the minute. Oh dear. Let me just adjust this screen tab. So that we can all see it. We don't need to see me because I've just woken up and yeah, not a pretty sight. Okay. Can I full screen that? Oh, I think I have. Anyway, can you read all that? That's probably better. So, the defendant, Sean Stearns, moves this court to set an adversarial bail hearing, a hearing at which he seeks to introduce portions of the sealed, well, you can't introduce any of that because it's been denied. The Commonwealth objects, asserting that as an initial matter under Section 16, blah, 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 the defendant's motion for board hearing is granted. The court will first hear evidence to determine whether the defendant is bailable. And if the defendant is found to be bailable, the court may then consider setting a bond, which means he could be out on bail. I doubt it, but it's possible. On September 19, 2024, the defendant, then the Letcher County Sheriff, used his gun and unalived Letcher County District Judge Kevin Mullins. It occurred in his chambers, goes on to do the details, basically. So they have allowed him to have a bail hearing. Oh, what's this? Person is guilty of murder when the intent to cause the death of another person causes the death of such person. Okay, well, we'll go into that a bit because that actually means a little bit. Now, I have tried to get hold of this particular document that I was searching for, and it is in the works thanks to a lovely mod on the Gavel Drops, who may be joining us a bit later, and the assistance of Miss Teresia Lamaster, mod extraordinaire. Now, as it turns out, apparently you can only apply for documents in Kentucky if you are a resident of Kentucky. Yep. So we've drafted an email, and Miss Teresia, who lives in Kentucky, has forwarded it to the county clerk's office so I can get this document. Now, the document that I'm after, you go back to my other screen, is this one. And Hillbilly Crime has it. And the only way I can read it is to share her screen. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Shout out. And I've put it on mute so that we don't hear the commentary, but I can hopefully read the document. Now, the document is, That courthouse tomorrow. She probably could, yes. Bless her. Yeah, so this is the best way that I can think of to actually show you. And trust me, we tried for hours and hours yesterday. So I'm assuming you haven't got a response yet, Tricia. So it's really, really small on my screen. So I'm going to be stooping. Oh, okay. We'll continue this up in the morning, I think, because it's late for you, isn't it? All right. So this is it's a civil complaint made by Sheriff Mullins's wife. It's a wrongful death lawsuit. Okay. And whilst that sounds fairly, innocuous, nothing particularly exciting, there is a backstory to it. Okay, so his wife has put this wrongful death suit forward and lodged it, and has obviously named quite a few different deputies in the Letcher County Sheriff's Office. And it is alleged that the main reason that this has been lodged is to obtain the information within the depositions of those people subpoenaed. Okay? You with me? So what they're trying to do is get the information from these deputies to prove, I suppose, that to explain the fact that they believe it was a premeditated and planned, and then there was execution or assassination of the judge. Okay? As I said, this is all, it's not, there's no facts that I can find. There is no evidence yet, but this is what is being portrayed by the media. Actually, there is an article. Hang on, and I will explain. Don't stress. I'll explain how this has come about, because it does come around. And in the interest of transparency and non-bias representation, this is what I need to go through. Okay? Yes. That I will get to that. Because I did go back and watch the video again, and it showed a different light to me once I was aware of this information, so to speak. All right, so I'll go to the Mountain Eagle. And I'll move me again. Okay, so can you still hear me? You should be able to still hear me, hopefully. You get rid of that. Don't need that. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so the widow of the late District Judge Kevin R. Mullins has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against former Sheriff Sean Mickey Steins, who was captured on security video shooting and killing her husband in his chambers on September 19th, 2024. Kimberly Mullins filed the suit as an individual and as an administratrix of the estate of Kevin Russell Mullins. Yeah, well, yep. Hold your horses and have a listen to this one, because it'll blow your mind. Kimberly Mullins filed the suit as an individual, and as a parent and next friend of their daughters. She is also suing several employees of the Sheriff's Department, claiming they knew or should have known Steins was dangerous, should have warned her husband, and had a duty to control Steins, who was their boss at the time of the shooting. She is suing them as individuals and in their official capacities at the Sheriff's Department. Now, when I read that, I'm like, how the fuck is she supposed to know? They supposed to know that he's going to do that. It's not like he's gone up to them and said, all right, dudes, I'm going to off the sheriff, off the judge. Don't tell him. Okay? They're not mind readers. And he was very close to Kevin as well. So if the deputies didn't know that was going to happen, then surely the judge wouldn't have, anyway. The court records in the case show at least 2 of the 3 employees named convinced Steins to see his doctor the day before the shooting. Yeah, well, that's different, They can't just say, yes, maybe his mental state had altered. He was more anxious. He was paranoid. Who knows? But that doesn't say, I'm going to shoot the judge. Steins intentionally and without privilege or justification placed Judge Mullins in imminent apprehension of harmful contact and made harmful contact by shooting and unaliving him in his judicial chambers. The suit says defendant Steins' actions were undertaken willfully, wantonly, maliciously, and or with reckless disregard for the right and safety of the plaintiffs. It also claims Steins' actions and those of employees were grossly negligent, reckless, wanton, and unwillful, thus making the defendants liable to the plaintiffs for punitive damages. She's seeking compensatory damages and punitive damages against all of those named in the suit. Okay, that's fairly standard, yeah? So, all right, let's go back to, where is it? Not that one. We want this one. Share screen. And add to stage. Okay. Now I need to put me back to cover that. These settings are annoying me. Oops. No, come on, come back. Ah. Yeah. 1. Oh, God, this is a pain in the butt. Okay. Right. So, now. Oh, yeah, no, come up. Come up, sweetheart. Come on in. Come on in, darling. I'm sure that you've got some opinions on this as well. So that means I better put my headphones on so we don't echo. Un momento, per favore. And we definitely don't want to see me today, given that I've just woken up. So, Avatar Day it is. Okay, let me just adjust the settings. Audio. Oh, I hear you. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Oh, jeez. It's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Where is my headphones? Come on. Where are you? Stupid bloody thing. I rearranged my entire studio over the weekend and I had to reset up all of these settings and make sure that everything was plugged in and in the right place, and I might have missed a few things, but never mind. Okay, let me test. Good day, we're on. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, madam.
Hello. I need an avatar too.
Yes, you can avatar, no problem. Have you got one?
No. So
Hang on.
it's okay.
You just turn your camera off, sweetheart. Just turn the camera off. You know the little camera thing at the bottom where the microphone and the camera is?
Does that work? Yes. Okay.
Yay.
Okay. That works. I look horrible.
Oh, you don't want to see me, trust me.
It's been
Hang on.
a rough MS weekend. Or weekend. I don't even know what day there are now.
Yeah. I actually think we're sinking. Did Ty speak to you yesterday?
Ty was sick, or she's still sick. It's like I feel like I'm not getting enough sleep. My body is just wiped out. So she's been sick, I've been sick, so it's just been like bleh.
And you've got a really, really stressful week this week as well.
Yeah, very.
Is that tomorrow your starts?
No, it's for Ty tomorrow. See, it's her daughter. Her daughter tomorrow.
Yep. That's the wrongful arrest, yeah?
Yep. And then Ty's, let's see, I believe she's the next day. And then we've got something the 11th planned. And then the 12th is Friday is our day in court with the kids. So it's going to be a long week.
Absolutely. And no doubt that's going to flare up all your symptoms as well because it's stress and anxiety. Yep. I hear you. Yep. So when I slept in for the stream on Sunday that we were supposed to do Sunday night, completely 12 hours bang out, just and woke up so full of fluid that my rings were nearly cutting off the circulation to my fingers and I had no neck.
Well, it's me. I said my eyes are puffy and swelled and everything. So it's
So when I messaged Ty and said I'm so sorry, she's like, "That's okay. We're full of fluid." I'm like, so am I.
Yeah.
So yes, it's been one of those couple of days, but never mind. Yeah.
So we're reading the lawsuit, right?
Well, I don't know if you've heard the rumors or what's happening in the media, but there's been updates with Mickey Steins. They're actually claiming now that it was premeditated, and that the allegation is that Kevin Mullins was talking to the feds, about a sex drug trafficking ring. And I'm assuming that obviously he's been approached by them and has cut himself some sort of deal, to cover his own ass.
Kind of what I was thinking.
Yep. And Mickey's found out about it. And the allegation is that he was basically silenced, so he couldn't testify.
Yeah.
But why would you silence somebody on by murdering them and doing it in broad daylight? Then you're burying yourself. You know what?
Well, I don't know.
Exactly. There's things that don't make sense, and I think someone said the other day that he'd forgotten about the bloody the camera in the thing, but I don't know. It's been alleged that it was premeditated and that he was basically told,
right?
Not told, basically to stop him from being a federal witness, basically. And then I thought about it. There was 9 bullets they removed out of Kevin. 9.
Right.
That's not just,
Right. It's overkill.
It is. And so then I went back and I'm going to play it now. Actually, I'm going to go find it. I went back to the actual video, the CCTV footage, and I sent it to someone else to see if they had the same opinion as me. You know,
Yeah.
I've even got one stamp. So let's play it. Where is it? Come on. Okay, timestamp. 13:37. Okay. Share this tab. I want you to watch whilst we're watching this. Oops, stop. I want you to watch his Mickey's movements and what he's doing. All right.
Okay.
Can we all see that? All right. Let's go. Now, obviously, there's no audio with this, so they've just come back from lunch. Okay, this is back from lunch where they've all been out to the restaurant.
Right. I think this was a couple of hours after because Mickey and Clark had went and delivered those dinners.
That's right. Yes. Okay, so in between that, that's when the alleged threat to Mickey occurred. Okay, so he was called out with the preacher to deliver a meal, a free meal to a regular person that actually, received them. So it was someone that they knew, and apparently, it said that he was lured out somewhere, bush, and a threat was made to his life. That's why when he came back, he was.
They said the difference between like their normal deliveries, they would deliver, quite a few meals, like, 30, 40 meals.
Yeah, and this was just the one.
Yeah, right. This was just one delivery, one place. And so that was odd too. So,
Yeah, and they're saying that was when.
Question. Yeah.
It makes perfect sense that he's come back and his anxiety levels are through the roof and paranoia.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, it's alleged, it's not proven, but this is... So we're basically looking at this to see his actions. So once he's come back from there, is that Preacher Man in the hat below? Is that Michael
he's
Clark
the one...
there?
Let's see. Yes, Michael Clark and Mickey just come in.
Yep.
Michael's still standing up.
Yep. And the other three, the two women and the other guy are...
the blonde-headed woman she works for Goodwill.
Okay.
She does like the re-entry, things like that.
Yep.
The other woman I'm going to say was kind of like Kevin's, kind of like the clerk.
Yep.
A clerk. And then the other one is Robbie. No, maybe not be Robbie, but he was somebody else that was involved with rehabs and the drug programs.
Okay. All right. Let's watch this. It's only a few minutes, so just watch Mickey's behavior. All right. So he's walked in and he's kicked them all out of the room for a start. Yeah?
Yeah. Which is unlike Mickey.
Yeah. The other thing that was said too is that he doesn't always carry.
No, he doesn't.
And he was carrying that day and not in uniform. So here we go. We're checking the door. No one there. Why would you do that?
Right. He was probably worried, somebody was out there listening.
Yep.
But here comes...
Now we're checking somewhere else.
Yeah, that door leads into like another office. like I guess maybe like secretary, maybe Angie Field's office, maybe. But there's a doorway going in that way.
We check again.
Right.
So if you're just having a discussion with a judge and you're not planning to do anything, why would you do this?
Right.
Is my question. Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But the judge still doesn't seem fazed.
Not a bit.
His body language is relaxed. He's having a smoke. He's like not even. Now, what do you put that down to? Is that arrogance, or is it just ignorance, or
arrogance? It's arrogance.
He thinks he can't be touched.
Yes, he knows. You know that he knows he's in charge. Basically, you know, everybody swarms around him.
Yeah, and if it's true that he is talking to the feds, he's probably thinking, "Well, I'm protected by them."
Yeah.
This case just goes from depth to depth, doesn't it?
It really does, because I mean, you can tell at this point, Kevin's probably thinking, you know, come on, Mickey, come on, you know, like really, you know, kind of talk him down, and then
it still doesn't explain the phone call, though, does it? To me, really.
Not really. See, I still feel as if maybe there was a threat, you know, there was
maybe the two things can be true at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yep. I'm with you. You like the quilt.
Yeah. I can't remember who made that, but it was somebody made it for the courthouse during the festival.
So is this his official chambers, or is this just like a room that he frequented?
I remember when I had went back there once or twice for my kid, it was a different room. It had a big, nice wooden desk. You had, you know, it looked more like a judge's office. And this room would have been, I really don't know what it was. You know, maybe
coal miners.
Yeah.
Getting a phone call.
Yeah, I got it. No, it wasn't her this time.
And there's not enough money, and there's way too many people. You've got no idea the people that he has harmed in the last 2 decades. There is not enough money that could pay them all.
No,
let me tell you, it's not just these few women, and it's not just this, you know, sex extortion racket. It goes so much deeper than that. It goes to every facet of their community, every single one of them.
You know, he's the one that made the decisions about families. You know, he's the one that made decisions with, you know, a lot of things. So, you know, he had a hand in a lot of, like you said, a lot of things.
So the rehab programs and everything in Letcher County and surrounds are allegedly non-for-profits, but they're owned, or they have a financial interest in these rehabs by the doctors as well.
Yep.
And so the doctors, one of them is actually on the board. Is it the NHS?
Yeah, it's Dr. Brady. Yeah.
Yep. So what happens is either the doctors feed them into the rehab programs as a recommendation of their treatment, or they get court mandated to do it.
Usually that's what happens.
Yes. And that's Judge Mullins.
Yeah.
So he feeds the system.
Yeah.
Correct. So then that person is now in the system, and once they're in that program, then they either are put to the test and given sanctions. So
Right.
here's more money.
Right. You know, they'll send them for sometimes they'll have to be drug tested once a week or once a month. Or, you know, if they send them, you know, if it's a serious enough crime or they think they really have a problem, they'll try to get them into drug court.
Yep. And that, again, is another money spinner for them.
A huge money. I mean, it's crazy.
Okay, here we go. So Mickey stood up.
The part that bothers me about all this happens right here in a second.
Yeah. So he's pulled his gun. All right.
Yeah, he's told him to sit down, but what he's, let's see, hang on, if I remember, what he does next, kind of.
I've paused it. Sorry. You want to keep it playing?
It's okay. Yeah, go ahead. It's coming up, I think. Right there. He locked the door.
Yeah.
He locked that door.
Yeah.
So no one could.
Not only has he been checking what's going on, play it again.
Yep.
Easy. Out. All right. Stands up. Flips the gun open, like his belt open, so he can access the weapon. Okay? So he's showing Mullins that he's got the gun.
Right. Mullins is still kind of like, you know, Mickey, come on.
Yeah.
Until that moment right there when Mickey barked back at him, because that's probably something that's happened.
Ready, steady, go. Locks the door.
Yep.
Now, I know premeditation can be anything up to like a second beforehand, but this to me shows that he had every intention of pulling that trigger.
Yep. And
the only reason is why.
I think the reason why he pulled it is what everybody in the county is so divided about, you know.
Yes.
Is the reason why, which we really don't know the reason why.
No, we don't. And it was my belief that, you know, he was doing it because he thought he had no other option.
Right. My opinion, and this is just my opinion, is that he was put in a position that it was his family, you know, take care of itself, you know, like Daniel Dotson, the documents had said, or they threatened his family because all he wanted was to see his daughter. He told him, I'll tell you everything you want to know. Just let me see my daughter through glass. You know, so I think.
Was that the day of the shooting?
Yes. It's in it's on the cop's body camera.
Okay,
What's going on?
Oh, so afterwards when he's
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, I've watched it step by step. I've got it.
So I'm just trying to work this out and understand it. So did he normally carry a weapon to work? Do you know?
Not usually. I mean, if it was a day that they wore their uniforms or there was a funeral or something like that, then he probably was in uniform. I have seen him dressed just like that, wearing one, but it's hidden usually. He doesn't really brandish it like, you know.
So my point is, if it was the fact that he was called out to a false lunch thing,
right?
Then prior to that, it would have been a normal day for him, and he possibly wasn't carrying. So he's had to have come to work with that gun on him. Does that make sense?
Right.
So
or leave it in the car, or you know what I mean. It wasn't something normal.
He had that gun at the very start it was on him. See
Right.
that?
Well, they mentioned he even had it on him, at lunch because a joke was made about it,
All right. So that even further suggests that there's premeditation involved to me. What else could it be? Like,
Right. I mean,
I don't know.
like I
don't know.
said, that reason why, why he.
This bit here is important too. So when he leaves, there's something come up about this guy isn't a security guard. It was someone from the courthouse.
Yes, he's court security at the
Yeah.
time.
And
Yes.
he walked straight past him and did nothing.
Right. Renders no aid, anything.
That's right. Doesn't even check a pulse. And that came up in, I think, this wrongful death suit, I think. That issue was being dealt with because I mean, you watch. Where is it?
No one rendered him any aid.
No.
And you can see movement. Another video.
He
so
fast
twice. Yep.
And does nothing.
Right.
And then he had 9 bullets. 9.
Okay. And another thing, he also holsters his gun, even though there's an still active shooter at this time now.
Yeah, they don't know who it is.
And he has his weapon holstered because he pulled it out, looked around the corner, come back, put it in, and started talking on the phone. So
did he?
Yes.
Is that on here?
Yes, it is. If you go back and watch, he comes in with his gun out and goes around the corner there through the door, and he'll look. He comes back in, holsters his weapon, and then gets on the phone, or he may already still be on the phone. But they hear gunshots, so there's an active shooter. Oh, it didn't.
I'm a citizen and I'm not holstering my weapons. There's an active shooter around.
No.
Absolutely. Oh, okay, here he comes. It's just.
Yeah, he kind of stands there a minute.
I've gone past it again, haven't I?
Right there. Okay, right here. Oh no.
So he's left hand. I've gone past it.
It's just a little bit before. It's like when he first comes in, he comes working through. And
let's play from there. He's just left. Oh, play. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay.
Okay, he's got his gun.
Was that? He just puts it in there.
And he puts it. Yep. He looks over at Mullins, and as he's walking, he's holstering his gun.
There we go. It's in his hand.
See?
Right hand, left hand, holstered.
Holstered. Yep.
Fuck. I never saw that.
I noticed that. Oh my gosh! First time I noticed it, I was like, "Tell me why there's an active shooter that's laying dead, and you felt safe enough." There was
put it down.
Put your gun.
Okay, job's done. I better report it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have noticed that. I noticed that like 10 months ago, and I've been like, why would you do that? And here comes Preacher Man knocking everybody down.
Now, this is a bit that reinforced to me that something went down in their delivery for the meal, because it was Preacher Man and Mickey that went by themselves.
Why have we heard everybody else's, testament, or what they call them, deposition, testament, whatever, but we've not heard his? And
okay, all right, he's
the last person to talk to him.
Yeah, this is what the wrongful death claim suit is about. So it's alleged that the Mullins' wife has listed all the people that they want information from in this wrongful death claim, so that they can use their depositions to prove that Kevin was speaking to the feds and this was premeditated. in the criminal
Yeah.
suit. Do you get me?
Right.
That's apparently the aim of this civil suit. That's the rumor. All right, nothing proven, but and it makes sense. It fucking makes sense.
Right. Nothing else does. But when you think about it in that way,
Yeah. So this explains because when Mickey leaves the courtroom, he walks out the side, up the pathway, which is coming up, and then back down, and you can see the preacher man is standing in the middle of the car park, and he's keeping his distance from Mickey.
I've got another question that I have asked and asked and asked and asked, and nobody really thought. Okay, those people that was in the room with Mickey and Kevin, right? When they seen that Mickey was as upset as he was, and he put him out of the room, right?
Yep.
How come when they heard a gunshot or whatever, every one of them didn't run to that area or know it was Mickey and was looking for Mickey? He was the only one in there with he was the only one in there with him. Nobody.
I mean, I can understand why they wouldn't run towards them, because I certainly wouldn't run towards a gunshot.
Not towards it, but you would have an ideal. Oh no, we just left that room. They were angry, and we hear gunshots.
And that room that adjoins is the smoking room where everyone communes.
Right, where everybody's there, and he kept opening that door. To make sure there was nobody in there.
There had to have been people in there. Just how many people are in that courtroom at a time? Like,
at that time of day, I would say they probably had done most of their cases, but everybody was probably still in their office and getting stuff together, and I would say there was probably 100 people in the whole courthouse. But maybe.
All right, so have a look at this. This is Mickey leaving, and he's walking up the sidewalk. You can see him there, straight after the shooting. Okay. Now see that person in the car park there, right there.
Yeah.
Michael Clark, preacher man.
Yeah.
In the black.
And he's looking at Mickey like,
oh yeah.
What's going on, Mickey?
Yep. Now it keeps cover. Just watch him. Just watch the body language between the two of them.
I'll tell you, he looked at the camera too when they went into the room before any of that happened. He looked up at the camera and away. Oh yeah, kind of like side-eyed it. It's I notice stuff. I have OCD.
So do I. And I missed that.
Know.
But when I was looking at it with different eyes, like.
Yeah.
Okay, Mickey's coming back now. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, where is Preacher in? There he is.
He's coming back towards him.
Yep. But he keeps his distance. And I think he engages in something with him. I think something is said here.
It looks like they have words. It looks like they have words. But, he wouldn't walk up to him. He was backing away from him.
Exactly. So did he get told something on the way back from the delivery? And if he did, why didn't he raise an alarm?
Or say something, or, what, he's the last person that had a conversation with Mickey before everything happened.
And he was one of the people that was kicked out before the shooting. Why didn't he say something to Mickey or grab Mickey or the judge?
Or go tell somebody,
He's following him. Why? I think that's something he must see.
He keeps his distance. When Mickey starts coming towards him, he starts backing up.
Yeah. They have a conversation here. What's that about? And from this point in, that's when Mickey goes in and surrenders. There we go. Chat. Still keeping his distance. Yeah. Something's
You know,
off there.
I try to think about how they said, he hadn't slept for 3 days. He hadn't slept since the deposition. He had, all these problems and stuff like that. But he's acting pretty cool and calm right there for somebody that's,
Yeah.
But he may be in a psychosis at that moment too. Like
Yeah. That's
I
not psychosis. Yes, paranoia. Yes, anxiety, but no,
don't,
psychosis definitely not. No way. But I
because
don't
he
understand why they're not releasing his psych evaluation. Why?
I don't know. There's something. I don't know. I always tell Ty, I said, Ty, there's something I'm missing. I went through all the depositions, and like I said, I have like a pretty good memory of stuff, and I remember things, and I went through a lot of these, and I know a lot of people that are involved in this. I went to school with them or knew them,
Yeah.
one way or another.
Uh-huh.
And so it's hard to read some of it and be like, that really don't sound like them, or, or
Yeah.
that just don't make sense, or that don't fit. So it's been but there's a piece missing, and I have
Yes.
swore that piece is Michael Clark.
Yes.
I really think it is, because when things started getting, I think people started looking into him, it got cooled off real quick. I noticed.
So he doesn't have a deposition, though, does he?
I don't know if he does or not. Everybody else, and if he doesn't, why doesn't he?
Yeah.
They interviewed everybody else in that room. We've all seen those videos. So he was in that room also. So why not him? And then he was the last person with Mickey. He has to have one, but the information that he has is something I don't know what the secret. There's a secret. You know what I mean? There's a bomb there. There's something that's
Totally.
that's for some reason they are feeling that it's best that the public don't even know about it, I guess, maybe in that sense. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it will come out in this trial. I mean, it would have to.
I'm just having a look and see if I can find his deposition, if there is one.
But now he was absolutely terrified for his child that day. And
yes, I do believe that. I do, yes.
All the comments, and everything right after it was he was concerned about his wife and daughter. And then when you watch the when Trooper Trotter was interviewing him, or not really interviewing, he was talking to him in the hallway there on his body cam. Mickey kept telling him, listen, I'll tell you anything. I'll tell you everything, anything you want to know. Just let me see my daughter. Just take me down there to the jail and let me see my daughter. And then, he kept telling them LaShawna and Christy had told him that they were on their way, so his daughter should be there by then. He was so concerned with, his daughter being there and everything. So,
For her safety.
and, they kept telling him, well, we have to ask your wife. We have to ask your wife if she's, and so he even told him it could be behind glass. So there was something in his mind, whether it was something somebody said to him or something he at that time thought, but he was concerned for his family.
Yeah, I do believe that. That was a real fear for him. I can't see any depositions in this, but this is the grand jury indictment. I wonder if that says anything. So this picks up at the 2:40 mark, 2:40 in the afternoon, where the sheriff enters the judge's chambers. He sits in a chair in front of the judge's desk. Sheriff gets up and checks various doors, checks the door that leads into the jury room at one point, which is on camera, blah, blah, blah. Checks the door behind him. Slightly out of view on camera. The sheriff starts looking at his own telephone. You can see him holding his hand looking at it at $250. He borrows a judge's phone. I don't get that. Don't get it.
You know, like I said, there's odd things, you know, that's hard to, you know, hard to answer. You know, things like that. The phone. There had to be a reason. You know.
Yeah. All right. So.
Or you know, did someone make him so paranoid that he thought that he was going to do something to his, you know, family, or you really don't, you know, you don't.
Could be anything. Yeah. It's. I don't know. Oh, they're talking about denying any relationship between Lila and the judge. No relationship.
That was, you know, I felt so bad as a community that, you know, that poor little girl, she was a junior in high school, or maybe might have been the start of her senior year.
Yep.
And, you know, there was no way, you know, her family, they said right away. And, you know, like I said, you know, she grew up in the community where, you know, we had Facebook and, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, Mickey would post, or the sheriff's department, this and that. You know, so we all watched her grow up, you know, and she was kind of like everybody's little sweetie. She, you know, she would do little things when she was in grade school. You know, if she would have back to school drives where she would have them fill her dad's car up with like school supplies, you know, things like that. So I mean, she's always been a great kid, and so, you know, that's why I guess me and others was kind of so defensive of
absolutely,
them kind of dragging her in to it, because, you know, whatever the circumstances are with Mickey and, you know, with Kevin.
She's the innocent one here.
Yeah, and, you know, Kevin's daughters are too. You know, they cannot help what their daddy did, you know.
Yeah,
so, you know, absolutely. It's a hard situation. So.
Yeah. All right. I'm just going to quickly go to the loo. Fluid tablets. You're right for 2 seconds to just keep chatting.
Okay.
I
don't know what to chat about.
All right. So, if the preacher man was deposed, what do you think that he might say?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Well, who do you think in that room was involved in this whole ring?
Like the room, like before the ones that Mickey put out. Just Clark and Mullins.
Oh, so you reckon the others weren't involved? They didn't know?
No, I think they were just wrong place, wrong time.
Okay.
Wrong place, wrong time. Because I know, like with the girl with the Goodwill, I don't really know a whole lot or much about her, and so, you know, and I think the other ones, they kind of all hung out down there anyway. It was a hangout environment. It wasn't really, you know, that's why, you know, you hear people would say, "Oh man, I got to go up there and talk to Mullins about something." You know, or I got to go up here and see Mullins about something, and you know that meant catch him. You know, catch him when he's smoking, or catch him, you know, in his office between court. You know. So, it was a very kind of laid back environment.
It looks like
it. With everything. So, and I think, you know, I think it got to the point though, it was like, it was too relaxed, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
You know,
yeah.
It went from being a courthouse, to a clubhouse.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. That's the impression it gives. All right. Do you want to talk about your lead up to Friday, how you got where you're at with the grandkiddies. I'd
with the
say.
babies. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I know. Sorry, I just can't hold on any longer.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm back.
Well,
Go for it.
my grandkids, Tony and Scarlett, are the love of my life. And back in, let's see, it was last year. So it's been 18 months. It was May 17th of last year. What it was, one grandmother had my grandson, and Scarlett stayed with me and Sarah, and Tony was with her and his dad, when his dad was there and things like that. So we had a schedule worked out. I would take Scarlett one weekend, and then Tony would come to my house for a weekend. But they, we kept them together. We did holidays together, all kinds of things. When the flood hit in 22, I stayed with my son-in-law for a month until we could get, a camper. We had a great relationship, and I took her up there that weekend, and by that Sunday, they didn't want to return her, didn't want to give her back. So, anyway, we ended up, the cops told him and Sarah, whoever went up there and got an EPO first, would end up with the baby. And he beat her up there and swore out an EPO on her, which was a lie. And everything. But Kevin Mullins, Sarah and her husband, ex-husband, I don't know, went before him, and he dismissed it and threw all that out. We thought we'd just get the baby and go home, but no, we ended up somehow upstairs in court with Daniel Dawson at that time. He is, or was, he was the family court commissioner, which, he dealt with divorces, child custody cases, things like that couldn't be solved, downstairs or easily, I guess, or difficult cases. And so we ended up with him. We started going through court, and they would push dates here. There was something wrong with this, something wrong with that. And then spring of this year, Daniel Dotson resigned, quit. And then all the family cases went back over to Jimmy Kraft. And with all those cases, plus all the other cases he has to deal with, plus drug court, I guess that's why they extend, it takes so long to get a date, to even get anything done. But let's see, what's really hurt is I would have never kept, if the shoe was on the other foot, I would have never kept the babies from them ever. I done all the transportation with Scarlett and Tony with the visits for 3 years. I done all the transportation. I would take them and go get them and wherever they needed to go. And, I love my grandbabies, and I want their mommy and daddy. They have one daddy. I want their mommy and their daddy to do good. I want them to be successful. I want them to be happy. I want them to be good parents and everything. But, I don't understand just ripping everybody apart by taking the kids to be spiteful, and now it's come down to everybody fighting over them. And me and Sarah's just kind of standing here like, we don't know what to do. He went, this is an important part of it, October 17th. Everything happened with Sarah when Sarah got in trouble and everything. She got her charges. Finally, everything's took care of with that too. everything got dropped except for a marijuana charge, and so that was took care of. But they've been in contempt of court since October 17th because they've not let us have any of our visits that are court ordered, and until they're, you know, motions filed or whatever, and they're not court ordered, then they have to let us have them. So by law, they're supposed to. But we took and filed papers. Well, okay, Sarah got out of the trouble. Everything was taken care of. She went to the next visit, asked if she could see him. She was told no. The next day, the baby's daddy comes in and takes Scarlett, leaves her brother, but takes her. And these kids are a mess. Her brother misses her. He's probably got tons of questions and scared to death. And he's so bright and smart. And I just, sorry, guys.
Yeah,
I just hate for him to go through so much. And right now, we don't know where she's at. You know, we don't know where she's at all. We've heard they're homeless, that they're staying with family. You know, you hear things. And then, you know, we had court, and he brought her to court. We at least got to lay eyes on her and give her a hug and kisses and all that stuff. But he got violent in the courtroom, was escorted out by bailiffs, got out in the hallway and threatened his mom, threatened our lawyer, threatened everybody. Our lawyer told us to leave, so we told Scarlett to hold her ears and that we loved her, and we had to leave. So I guess all Hades broke loose, but you know, still at that moment they seen him fit that he could take her home and take him with her. And so
they sent her back home with him after all that.
yes. Nothing was said. Not you know, bring him back in here and let's talk about this. Nothing.
And it was a full courthouse, wasn't it?
Yes. Full courtroom, judges, lawyers. I mean, everybody there, half the county. We got one thing accomplished. That day, the guardian ad litem stood up and said, "Hey, we want to interview her now, like right now." And you know, she's not this and that, and she said, "No, she's here right now. I want to interview her." So I do not know what became of that, but I know when me and Sarah walked away, she was terrified, and just that she has to even go through that is just so sickening.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
her or her brother, neither one should have to deal with that, and so. We'll go back in this week, and hopefully he made just a big enough ass of himself that, you know, Jimmy Kraft will please, you know, please open his eyes and see, you know, that something's got to give.
So the last 18 months, that judge has just been postponing the case. Yeah?
Yeah.
So nothing's ever been dealt with. What do you think's going to happen Friday? Do you think he'll have to address it now that there's been the guardian ad litem?
I hope so. I really hope so. But if something doesn't, I mean, it's time, I guess, start writing letters to this bar association or this and that, because you know, at this point, it's like if you didn't see it with your own eyes, because they've seen all the videos, they've seen the pictures. I've got a stack over here of us asking for emergency custody like 4 times. You know, it's scary going through these papers and getting ready for court and everything,
Yeah,
and piling evidence together. And you read these messages from his own family about him, and it's like, if they are terrified, then I just don't understand why we can't get anything done. It's just like, I don't know, sometimes I feel it's just like retribution almost, kind of like, hey, this
well,
is
you always said that it's you believe that because of your history and your involvement in this, that's why they've targeted her.
yeah, yeah. Well, and you had the whole thing with Sarah in the jail and this and that, and um, it was like a horrible time for everything. But it was like, we need to tell the truth. We need to get this.
Absolutely, that's
You
been
know,
your main factor to come forward too, isn't it?
yeah,
They're
yeah.
so active. Yep.
And so, you had people that were starting to talk and tell their stories, and they were scared to death, and it was just like, well, I've been through this or that, and we all started talking together, again, and kind of became our own little community, again, and working through things. And I said, I feel like it was one of the best things ever that's happened to me this year, is the friends and people I've met and things and opportunities.
They come
But
together.
it's also been the worst and the scariest year,
Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I said from the start. Like the camaraderie and the loyalty and the support that you girls give one another, and not only that, like you're in the middle of facing all of this fucking stress bullshit crap with your grandkids, like, but still you and Tyre are looking to you're doing toy drives for the kids for Christmas. You're doing
Yeah.
you're putting together resources to support the other women. It's like you're not sitting there being a victim and resting on your laurels and trying to cry and oh please, let the world help me, let the someone do something. You're actually being active and doing something yourself, and that is what just blows my mind. And I just admire you guys so much for what you're doing, and at your own risk as well. Like there is risk for you, massive risk for you girls. And I
It
yeah,
is, it's scary. It's scary to talk about, talk about a case, and knowing, in a couple of days you're going to be looking right at them,
yep,
because it's one of them things, like I've always said, I can't say that I was, abused by Mickey or by,
no,
Kevin, or, ours was a whole different kind of different, things
yep,
and stuff. And, you know, I feel that way with the judges. I've known them, I've been around them, but because of, some things that happened in our family, it put us in that position of, oh, it's those people.
yeah.
They don't look
Guilty by association.
right. They don't take a glance. I've never had, like I said, I got in trouble at one time and it was thrown out, but I've went my whole life and never been in trouble, and
Yep. You've got no history at all. No,
no, and
no
so it's hard that people look at you like you're a criminal. Yes,
yeah,
they do. They criminalize you.
absolutely. That's the same as a
And
defendant. If you've been charged and you've been indicted, then you're guilty. Simple as that. It's like the fuck. So, but if you don't know, sorry, those people watching that don't know who Brandy is, Brandy has basically provided, it's been like the underground network for safe houses for these women for what, two decades?
oh gosh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that then, because she harbored these, and supported these women and these victims, their ability to produce a profit then was hindered. So
Right.
she was targeted then from that point onwards. She was targeted.
We would at times have to, if somebody had a parole they had to pay, or they had an ankle bracelet they had to pay, or, we would pull change together, and count change out to take in for this, or, we made sure everybody got their rides, to get to court, because you have a court system set up that, there's not a lot of people at home have their own cars and, have license or ways to get there,
Yep.
And then
Plus,
that
they want you to fail because they make money out of you.
Yep. Yeah, because you got a failure to appear, which gives you a warrant, which lets them chase you, and then that lets them put you back down there for another 90 days.
Yep.
And so, and that's pretty much how my son spent his from 18 to 30, was just traffic violations, this, that, just things like that, one way or another, he was gonna be in that system. So
because as soon as they're out of the system, they don't make them any money anymore. And you had to get him completely away from the county and everything, didn't you? To get him away.
Yep, I sure did. And we was talking the other night, a lot of the other kids that, the ones that haven't passed away, or because there's not a whole lot of their friends left, but they had to leave. They had to leave also, and they all have jobs and, leading normal lives. My son, he's in college still. He's taking classes and works full time, so.
How old is he now?
He's 30, let's see. Oh, Lord, 33? Yeah, he's 33. He'll be 34 in January.
Wow.
So he's only been out, like I said, for 3 years now. The last stint he had was, it was, I think, a bad check. I think it was something like that. And he ended up serving 3 flat years in Letcher County Jail.
What?
Yes. And it about killed him. Just about killed him.
Are you fucking for real?
I'm real. I'm being for real. Yeah.
For a bad check that bounced.
Well, he had cashed a check. Is what it was. It was a check that didn't belong to him, but he cashed it. So, yeah, it's the same thing, I guess, ain't it? Is a bouncing, yeah. But yeah, he got 5 years for it. 5, I think. And because he had times before, he'd have a failure to appear, and just these little things like that would add up. So it was kind of one of them, okay, bad check, all these other things. Well, we're giving you 5 years, and he served 3 of them, like I said, in Letcher County Jail. So yeah. And then you have people like Patrick Little that had 42 counts of sexual crimes against children, and he's on 5 years of ankle bracelet. So you see the fairness there.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. He was a friend of Judge Mullins's. So, and Matt Butler, I think, was his lawyer. So you had friends, like that. And then, like I said, mine served 3 flat years for a check.
Yeah, like, what the fuck?
There's no fairness in it.
No.
None.
I'm just trying to bring up some stuff that I've researched myself. And I did a who's who in the zoo type of thing, like a family tree type of thing, to try and explain where everybody fits in the court system.
Yeah.
And I'll just.
A lot of the people she named in the lawsuit, is I think like some of the ones on the depositions. I think.
Actually, all my depositions will be in here. I've uploaded a heap of stuff to my database, and that's where I should have looked in the first place. Fields, messages with no depositions. Okay, Sabrina, who's Patty Stockholm?
Patty Stockholm is the one that owns East Kentucky. She's the one that owns the ankle bracelet, the monitoring place.
Okay.
Because they questioned her because how did he go so many months with, unanswered or unpaid for bracelets and things like that without her catching on.
Okay. And did that ever come out?
I don't know. I don't think anything was ever. After Ben got in trouble, I think everything else that was talked about was just kind of forgot about. It's kind of like I don't think anything happened to him.
Who's Jason Eccles?
He is he's a deputy for the sheriff's department, and he also works court security.
Would he be involved in this wrongful death?
In the wrongful death? I wouldn't think so. He doesn't seem to be like. I know he was a part of all that joking around. The stuff that the sheriff's department when all the guys were joking around with each other and all that stuff. I know he was like a part of that, but I really never really heard a whole lot of bad stuff about him. Other than, he was close to, I think he was close to Mickey, but.
Okay, evidence of connection. Oh.
Which one?
Yeah, hang on. This is stuff that I've been researching myself. So what is this? Evidence of connection. It directly connects the shooting of Mullins and by Mickey Steins to the Fields case. Yeah. I didn't read the whole thing. This one.
I think there is so much more to the Ben Fields case that they was having to cover so much up,
Yeah. Yep. And that's why he took the plea.
Yep. I mean, I'd say he was panicking. Like I said, he was carrying the whole town secret on his back.
Yep.
So
but that secret was just that it was basically perpetrated as limited to just, the sex scandal. And it's way, way bigger than that, yeah?
Well, I think they thought a lot of other things would unfold too. It would be like, once you got this one, well, then this one's probably going to tattle on you for all the money and misuse of money. And, yep. I'm sure each one had a, you don't want to make it sound like Ocean's 11, like each one of them had a steal, and this is the steal they had, but it's kind of like that, each one of them had different means of, working the system, I guess, or making it work for them, maybe that.
I got this. Hang on. I've saved this on my phone, so I'm just going to email it to myself. Now, where did I bloody find it? There it is. Okay, send it. Mail. Because it kind of explains it a little bit better than I can. Oh, stop it. Of course. My groceries get delivered now, don't they? Yeah. It doesn't. Oh, this is
And
why I
that's
swim at night, because there's so many interruptions during the day. Can you hear my bell going off?
Yeah.
My doorbell. Okay.
Well, it sounds pretty.
Open that. Share this tab instead. And I think I have pulled out my earphones. I can't hear anyone. Thank you. Right. So this is. Can you all see that? The Letcher County.
Let me see. I can turn it.
So there's the two courts, or the two judges. Sorry, the upstairs, downstairs. Is that right?
Yes.
The circuit court and the district court.
Yeah.
District court is where Judge Mullins presided. Is that correct, Brandy?
See circuit. See district. Yes, he was district. Yes.
Why can't I hear you?
Yes, he was district.
Hang on. My earphones are just not. For some reason.
Are you there?
I can't hear a goddamn thing.
Hello.
Right. Oh, there we go. Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hello. Okay.
So the district court, is that right? That's where Judge Mullins was, and he's been.
Yes.
Nick Whitaker was appointed.
Right. Right.
Now I thought he was fresh out of school, but apparently he's been in the county for a bit. Is that right?
I really don't know him. But everything I have heard about him has been really good. I mean, like, a lot of people like him. And, and there's a lot of people in Letcher County that get in trouble and go through district court. And so, if he wasn't, they would have a lot to say about him. So, but I've heard nothing but good about him.
And he's fairly young, is that right?
Yes.
So, it was my thoughts once I first heard of his appointment was A, he's young and malleable, or B, he's fresh.
I'm hoping fresh. I am hoping. I'm hoping fresh.
But if you're put into a system where everyone around you is setting an example that's not what is the best, you know what I mean? How long does it take you to fall in line?
I do believe that the ones that have things to be concerned about, if you notice, they have been dropping out of office or dropping, or not going to run the next time, or, it's like they're.
Take Jamie Hatton for example. He's run unopposed for the last 4 elections. 4.
Yeah.
And each election is 4 years. So that his position is the only one that you guys can vote on.
And see, I didn't even know we should vote on it. That's the thing. I think there's a lot of, on my part, a lot of ignorance with voting and stuff, because I, really don't talk.
Well, you had no other alternative but to vote for him.
Or only their people vote or whatever. So because I think a lot of people in our area, they can't vote.
Yep.
So it kind of makes it easy sometimes to decide who's going to be in office and for how long.
Yeah, and they're not. You don't. It's not compulsory for you to vote either, is it?
What is it?
It's not compulsory for you to vote either. Is that right?
No.
So these people that are in positions of power can just perpetuate themselves without any question. Is the point I'm getting at? Because he's been in there for at least 16 years, at least.
Yeah.
And being the county prosecutor.
Well, yeah, he's been. That's about right.
Yep.
Yeah. time has flew by, but yeah.
Yep. So with your defence attorneys, you've got apparently Baker Dotson, who's apparently, is he retired or gone to?
Everybody says they see him at the courthouse still. I think he just retired that position. I think he just retired that family court commissioner position because I think it was putting too much of a spotlight on him at the time, or this time, or during this time.
But he's still got his finger in the pie, is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Matt Butler. He's the Commonwealth attorney.
Yep.
Under Kraft. So he's the one that's prosecuting Mickey's case, is that right?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they set special prosecutors and stuff for because for Butler was Mullins's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I think they had to set a I can't think of the word I'm thinking of.
Conflict of interest.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the reason why, and they had to get someone else to fill that part. But like I said, also you got Matt Butler was the one that was defending the Patrick Little. You know, like I said, had all them charges and got 5 years on an ankle monitor because him and Kevin was.
I don't know that Patrick Little.
He is a local business owner in Letcher County that went to high school with Kevin Mullins and was good friends with him and others in the courthouse. And Matt Butler was his attorney, but he got accused of doing some terrible things to children. 42 counts, and they got it cut back to 21 counts and got him 5 years on home ankle incarceration. Yeah. He got home incarceration for 5 years on an ankle monitor. That was the deal that him and Matt Butler and Kevin Mullins worked out. So
compared to a bounce check.
So that, but then Matt Butler, right before or right after he got appointed as whatever he is, he quit being his attorney, but the plea was already done and everything. But they just had to be specific, that it wouldn't tie him to it or however,
What was his name?
Patrick Little.
Okay, I'll look that one up and do a deep dive on that one. But yeah, it just seems ridiculous that he got home detention and your son got 5 years jail.
Yeah.
So
and 3 years in Letcher County, let me tell you, is
yeah,
it's like living in a third world country or worse. Being tortured.
Unless your name is Ben Fields.
Yep, and then you get a TV and all the perks.
Yep. Absolutely. So, out of that list on the screen, how many of them do you think are involved in this corruption, allegedly? Apart from Nick Whitaker, we've got Kraft.
Maybe
I'll change that. Who do you think's dodgy? Okay, your opinion.
Wow. I can say, Dotson for sure.
Yep. Well, he threatened Mickey.
Yeah, and then they some others. The one that ain't running, that won't be running, or And you know, the thing with that, I grew up with him, Jamie Hatton, and his sister, Angie was our state representative for a while.
Yep.
And, you know, I grew up with them, and, you know, I liked them. They were good kids. After that, though, I mean, Jamie's never been nice to me ever, you know, after that. But, you know, he was one of them people that if you was part of the clique, you was part of the clique. If you wasn't, you wasn't.
Yep.
You know, you meant nothing, you know. So it was kind of, and he wielded a lot of control, because up until recently, say if someone got mad at me, they could go up there with some money and could swear out a warrant on me.
Oh,
And he could issue the warrant, and depending on whether Kevin wanted to sign it or not, which he usually signed them, you know, people could swear out warrants on people for, you know, go over and pay for it. So, you know, he kind of wielded a lot of, you know, control, I guess.
yep.
He's like the rest of them, you know. It's kind of like a control thing.
So that's
They
how
they kind of knew they were in charge of Whitesburg.
that's how they managed to get people to do what they wanted them to do, because they would hold all of these threats of warrants or CPS or you know, if you didn't toe the line, so to speak.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. Because, you know, you had a system set up with, you know, you had Kevin would send, I'll just do how our case went.
Yep.
And I'm not saying anything bad about anybody. I'm just saying this is how our case went. Our case started with Kevin. Kevin sent it to Daniel Dotson. We all know Daniel Dotson and the Daniel Dotson lore. So he was at that time the commissioner and was making decisions about families and custody and things like that, which I thought was totally ironic at the time. But anyway, and so when he resigned, it sent us to Jimmy Kraft. But during the time we were at Daniel Dotson, we were appointed a guardian ad litem, which is the attorney for the child who is supposed to do whatever is in the best interest of the child.
Yep.
Okay, well, her name is Ashley Sturgill. And at this time, I think, or she was either married or living with, dating or whatever, Tyrone Fields, who is the Whitesburg City Police Chief and Daniel Dotson's best friend.
Oh.
So you kind of got everybody at the courthouse is friends or cousins or related, or there's a link everywhere.
Yep.
You know, there is, you know, you can't really get outside of it. So, you know, if you've got her being paid by the state and you've got attorneys being paid by the state, and, you know, so it's not going to look good for the parents.
No.
It's not going to look good when you're trying to keep your kids out of the system, and their payday depends on keeping your kids in that system.
So what were the initial allegations put to Mullins about why these children needed to be reviewed by CPS in the first place?
Oh, our babies?
Yeah.
There is none. That's the sad part. There is none. We've never been accused of abuse. We have never been accused of neglect. There is no CPS involvement other than the guardian ad litem. In our case, they just told him he didn't have to give her back.
That's right. He refused to give him back one time. It was his
visit. Yep. That was it. And so there's no abuse allegations or neglect, or, you know, I have messages on top of messages of him telling me, you know, he knew that she was took care of. I mean, you know, he knew that I would always make sure she had anything she needed. Me and him had a good relationship too. So, I didn't, I lost that too. It
Yeah.
really hurt me that he would do me that way. But, I've kind of learned, okay, some people are mean, and
Mhm.
I'm learning. Ty's working with me with that, but
Yeah.
this time though, it's so hurtful because I liked this Thanksgiving was just gut
Oh.
wrenching, and I told the kids, I said, I really hate going anywhere right now because everything's Christmas,
Yep. Yep. And it just
and until Friday, I'm just like praying they'll just give the visits back, just anything, I hate that baby had to go through what she went through in court, but to see that little face was just, because we'd went from October 17th until, oh gosh, that was November 19th, and didn't even know if she was okay or anything. So
Ah.
it was just good to see that face,
When was the last time Sarah saw them? Apart from court.
The last time we actually had them for the weekend before anything happened was September the see, I've got it wrote down here. It was the third through the 5th, I think. It was the first weekend in September.
When he had them that weekend.
Was the last weekend that we had them. Because Sarah had gotten in trouble on the 14th of September, and that next weekend,
This year? This year?
yeah, this year,
Yep.
and so it was that weekend before that. They wasn't here. They wasn't here that weekend when it happened or anything like that. She was,
So 3
at
months it's been since you've seen them.
yeah. And it's been rough. I got one phone call with my grandson when Scarlett, when he first took Scarlett off. She let me talk to my grandson once, and me and him made silly faces for about 10 minutes, and that's that's our communication. Him and Mama being goofy, and got to tell him I love him and everything, and he knows he's old enough, and we would tell him very, very often, all day long. He told me one day, he said, Mama, I know, gosh, stop.
How old is he?
He's 7. He'll be 8 in January. And then Scarlett's 4. She turned 4 in April. So she's 4.5 now, I guess. But, we have been, this court stuff, should have been cut and dry and done in 30 days at the most. I mean, with me and my husband, it was a horrible one, and within 30 days it was decided, and then I think I had a 60-day waiting period before it was like final.
Yep.
And so within 90 days, mine was done. And
well, they generally put interim orders in to cover between the findings, the rulings of the court, because at the same time you don't want the kids to lose contact or touch with the parents. Like, that's the whole point.
Well, now my ex-husband, I would have had to have drug and beat him and and made him see the kids. He's still like that. So it was no problem as far as the kids, But even with Sarah and Jimmy, I think if they wouldn't have, like, I've not got involved with it, but I know, like, the other grandmother has jumped in with it pretty hard. And I think if we would have stepped back and let Sarah and Jimmy kind of had the time and talked it out, and I think they would have worked something out. I do, but now I don't know. Did somebody say if they had a question?
Yep. I'm curious if you think things are going to get better now that the national spotlight is on this county.
I'll tell you what. If you would have asked me that in July or August of this year, I would have been yes, I do. I'm excited. Yes, I would, yeah. But right now, I can't. It's hard to answer that. It's really hard to answer that. We've had so many people inside the county do so much damage to others' reputations and feelings, and
it's like they're doubling down.
Yeah, it's losing its.
You're losing your faith in the system.
That's how I feel. It's becoming unimportant, and it's becoming one of them things that maybe if they just stay still enough and we don't learn how to file the right paperwork, and we don't learn how to make the right phone calls, and we don't learn how to do these things, it'll get swept under the rug again. And, I'm hoping that we can still continue to start or keep the light on this until some changes are made.
Here, my love. That's why we're here. I know I was talking to Ty last night about this wrongful death suit, and I actually thought that she'd go, "Oh, that's ridiculous! Don't know, that's rubbish." Blah, 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 blah. No. She, yeah.
Yeah.
She actually agrees that there is connection there, and that something, but it's even bigger than that. She said, like, you can't just. That's what people don't realize. It's like it's being portrayed in the media as just this sex scandal for the judge. Yeah, that it's just something that he did on the side and controlled these women and had his way with them, and they had all these sex parties and all that. But it's not. It's the whole. It's indoctrinated into this community. It's like, all right. So my question was, and this is what did it for me. I asked Brandy if she trusted her attorney to represent her in the court. How can you know that she's not involved in it, or he, or whoever it was? Do you know what I mean? Like, the people that are in that you have the option to use within this judicial system, you are damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, because you don't know whether they're going to be on your side or they're going to side with the. Do you know what I mean? Like, or they'll either be.
Yeah, you give your money, you pay them to give your money, and you think, okay, it's okay. And then you get in the courtroom and everybody's over there whispering and talking and laughing. And then they come back over at the table and try to act all serious. And then it's like, oh, well, we'll just move it for another 2 weeks or another month, or, and it's like, these are just dates to you all, but it's the days of their lives that we're missing, moments that I'm not getting back,
And you don't have the option to go elsewhere because the judge has to sign that off on that.
Yep. And we was told not to anger them, not to ask, not to anger them.
And if you question anything else in your claim, you're told that you're manipulating the system.
Yep.
So if your judicial system is like that, and your law enforcement is of that belief, that, well, it's become their norm. That's how they operate. How the fuck do you get out of this shit? How do you get your rights heard? Like, there's nowhere to turn.
Right. And that's how you feel, because you don't know. I mean, it's like Do you represent yourself? Well, that's terrifying thought. You know, if I say one thing wrong or don't do this or don't do that, then they're
Get your
gonna
own technicality because you haven't bowled it right way or some shit. Yeah.
right, and then you can't afford to pay most of the attorneys at home. They charge something awful,
Yeah.
and if it's a custody case in Letcher County, they laugh at you. I mean, it's like no, you know. Or if they take it, you know, it's very surprising, and they don't know what they're getting into, you know, which
Yeah.
is another problem you run into.
Is there anyone from CPS that works there that you know of or knew when you dealt with the foster system that you can trust at all?
Most, if not every one of them, has retired.
Okay.
They have retired. I did have some friends that worked in there, and you know, but that was the thing. Even back then, when I had friends that worked there, and you know, my ex-husband had friends that worked there. They still would harass me and the kids. So there's no level of. It's kind of like, hey, I know I'm your friend, but we got a phone call and we got to do this, and it's like, okay, you know, it's just something that's. I don't know. I
Yeah.
guess for their friends, you don't fight back. You know,
And they think, well, I can't stick my neck out for you because I'll get in trouble with the judge or.
And you know, and a lot of times they would ask to come in or something, and everything in me was like, oh, don't let them. But it was like, if I don't let them, they'll think I'm up to something, and I don't want them to think I'm up to something. And you know, so you would do it anyway. And you know, but there's just, you know, a lot of things that now that I have been trying to read and help people, and I've had a lot of advocates, you know, call and talk to me and, you know, tell me certain laws and things. And I was telling Ty, when you sit down and you think of all the things that they done, you know, I feel so robbed, you know, robbed of all the years. And I feel like, you know, my middle child and my youngest, you know, Sarah, they lost so much time with me because I was so wrapped up with the oldest one, trying to keep him, you know, out of jail or, you know, from getting hurt. And
You think
you know,
they've missed out? Oh.
There's just so many things that we have laws and we have rights, but we've not been taught that because we live in a culture of silence, you know, we just don't talk about things.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Hello, Steve. Sorry, Brandy. Steve is a creator up in Virginia, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
That's close by.
Hello. Yes, he'd actually be a good one to interview you guys because he's got a huge subscriber base. But yes, this is a massive justice case, Steve. Massive injustice, like bigger than Karen Reid, bigger than this is going to. Well, I hope it will when the trial comes, if that actually gets there, because there's not been a trial date set. They haven't even decided on the change of venue yet.
No, I don't think they did.
Because it's not very often that the prosecution has the opportunity to request that. I think Kentucky is one of the few states that they can, and they have. It wasn't the defense that requested it; it was the prosecution.
Yeah, the prosecution, I think, is what's wanting it out of Letcher County because, like I said, a lot of everybody know everyone involved, and you know, I'm sure Mickey ain't squeaky clean. I'm sure he's not, and I'm sure he knew what was going on, and
at the very least, he shouldn't have.
shouldn't have done what he did, but you know, Mullins wasn't a very nice person, and everybody knew it. You
Yeah.
know, so
I just can't get over how deep this, how entrenched this whole thing is. It's beyond me. It's beyond me. I don't know how you guys survive in it. Like, you're just basically doggy paddling to keep yourselves afloat
that's
at any point.
yeah.
That's how I
And
feel, anyway.
yeah, and well, that's how it feels. You're out. I'm always on alert. You know,
Yeah.
all of us are. It's you never know from moment to moment. You know, if you know what's happening or what's going to happen. Which I mean, I know everybody's lives are hectic and stuff, but we've been through some kind of unusually odd, you know, kind of unusually odd things that this shouldn't have happened.
Yeah. I've just found a bit of a bio on Michael Clark, the preacher man. Now, he has a history, doesn't he? He's got, I think, is it 8 convictions? Or 9? Hang on, let's read it. So he was born in Harlan County. Father was a coal operator, his mother a nurse. He earned a 27 on his ACT. What's that?
That's a college, your college prep or college.
Is that a high score?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Not dumb. He attended the University of Kentucky, nearly completing his degree, before addiction of OxyContin derailed his path. By 2003, he spiraled into a full-blown substance use disorder. He was convicted of 7 felony drug offences and served approximately 5 years in prison. He was sentenced again in 2016 to an additional 3-year term. During this time, he became known, in his own words, as a gladiator for drugs driven by addiction into violence and despair. And then he found God. In 2016, while incarcerated, a letter from his daughter marked the emotional turning point. He began reading the Bible, attending church services, blah, 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 blah. He's now maintained over 9 years of sobriety, allegedly. He returned to the University of Kentucky to complete a degree, eventually granted a full pardon. Now, what was in that? Because at some point he said he didn't apply for it, he had no idea of it, but then it was granted anyway. Like,
Okay.
what?
Well, you got to go back to who he was working for at the time, or getting ready to work for. He was working for ARC. The founder of ARC, Tim Robinson, is
what, Addiction Recovery Center or something?
Right. Okay. He is the founder or whatever. Tim Robinson is best high school and college buddies with our governor, Andy Bashir. I can't even say it.
Okay.
Our governor, Andy. Everybody knows our governor, Andy.
Yep, that's the one.
So at that time, ARC was taking and finding it cheaper to use people that were completing the programs to do peer counseling and to do community outreach, which was what Clark would have done.
Yep.
So they needed him a cleaned up man, but they needed him a guy that still people, you know, would trust, you know, to trust him to say, I've got a drug problem, man, you know I do. And, you know, and if he get in there and talk to him, to talk, you know, hey, I got through it, dude. If I can do it, you can do it. You know, that kind of guy.
Yep.
That's the kind of guy they needed. And so they cleaned his record up. Well, that's my opinion. That they cleaned his record up to then hire him, you know, to be like a community outreach, which I think with the Medicaid, the problem with ARC was they were hiring these peer counselors and paying them almost nothing, and then funding or not funding, the government was funding them though for, say they was giving them $30 but they were only paying them $10. So, they were making $20 an hour off of an employee.
Ah.
So that was one of the problems they had. But I know with him, the way it was explained to me was they had to clean him up, and that's what they did.
Clean him up so that he had a nice polished presentation for representing the ark. Yeah.
Right. He had a good testimony. You know what I mean? Like he could go into them churches and he could go into those prisons and he could go into these places and he could give them this good sermon that would tug at their hearts. And he knew where they was coming from because he'd been there. That kind of guy.
Yeah.
Used car salesman, except for rehab.
Okay. Oh Lord, because he came out and didn't he do a Facebook video right after the shooting?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He
was in contact. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, he said he contacted both families, and he was just going to clear the rumors up. And I think the part that they didn't like was he was talking about how he just kept saying over and over and over, mental illness is real. That's all he would say. And so
But he was never diagnosed with anything, was he? Has he got a history of any mental illness?
Not that I'm aware of, and unless that's one's part of the case that maybe he did have a diagnosis of depression or something before that, maybe that's something, but that's just a theory I have too. So
yeah. Well, I think that this wrongful death suit is going to open a can of worms, so to speak.
Who all did she name?
I'm just having a look at that now. Just having a look because I can't get it any bigger than that, unfortunately, on my screen.
I'll give you the Letcher County gossip on who they are. No.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to the start. So, defendant without sufficient information. Go on. I want to see who the name. Come on. Next page, please. There's two things they're putting. The complaint fails to state a claim against the defendant upon which relief can be granted, and the second defense is, hang on. Defendant Sean Steins, in his individual capacity by counsel, provide the following. Oh, this is his answer to the complaint. Hang on. I've jumped the gun. They address both in this. So the first one comes to plaintiff Kimberly Mullins as administrator of the estate of Kevin Mullins. One, at all times mentioned here in plaintiff, Kentucky Mullins was a resident of Letcher County. Plaintiff Mullins was appointed as, all times. Next page. Assault and battery. They've got to be in here. Oh, okay. Jason Eccles is the first one. Plaintiffs re-allege each item set forth in the above. Okay, so this is their assault and battery count. On about September 19th, defendant Sean Steins intentionally and without privilege of justice made harmful contact by shooting and killing Judge Mullins in his judicial chambers. Steins' actions were undertaken willfully. The result of this, he succumbed to the injuries and lost his life. Plaintiff, personal representative, direct and approximate result of defendant Steins. All right, so the count one must be to Mickey. Let me go back. It's probably easier if she actually had a friend of hers give us a rundown. So maybe I'll play it because it might be easier to understand.
I was going up here last night, but I sat in an awkward position. Peptides.
Oh, here we go. So it's against Sean Steins, Jason Eccles, LaShawna Frazier.
Okay, she was the manager.
Yep.
Okay. LaShawna, she was the one that they always said ran the sheriff's department, which she was. She was the office manager, I think.
Yep.
She was the one standing in the hallway across from Mickey, kind of standing there flabbergasted, like she didn't know what to do, after the shooting.
So she wasn't the one that was going up to him and making him,
No.
Okay.
That was Christine.
Christine Bowling.
Yep, that was her.
Is that Harold's wife?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, she's not Harold's wife. His last name's Mary, but or was. I'm not sure. But now Christine, I went to school with her, and she worked in another office somewhere in the courthouse. I want to say with the property tax office or something, but she's been at the sheriff's department probably since Mickey's been there.
So what is her role in the sheriff's department?
Office worker or no, somebody said she was a victim's advocate.
Okay.
Maybe. I did hear that. So that's a possibility that she's the victim's advocate. Because I know the one before Eugene Sloan had retired, so that may be the position that she had.
Okay. So it looks like they've listed those 4, and then they've got a whole different lot of charges to each one, I think.
LaShawna and Christina are the ones that took him to the doctor the day before, too.
Mickey?
Yes.
He went to the doctor?
Yes. They took Mickey to see Dr. McDougal the day before the shooting. Said he was acting weird and they was worried about him.
And so do you know the outcome of that, or?
I had heard that they told him to take a Benadryl for his anxiety. Seriously, that's what I was told. That he was told was to take a Benadryl for anxiety, but I don't think any record anywhere, so I don't know. I guess he wasn't told very much, but.
Well, there may be a history of, like, he might have a diagnosis of anxiety.
Right. I don't know.
Interesting to know what he was actually on. And all right, I might just play this. How long will be?
Face broke out. There's tons of apps just opening up on my computer right now.
Well,
I'm pulling up the response that I sent you. I can find it. So,
Alan, why don't you come in the kitchen and see what the cats are in there tearing? I pulled up both for the viewers so they can follow along with us. I've got the complaint and then I've got the answer right beside it. So
yeah, I'm pulling them up right now. My dog's about ready to bark at me. I can feel it. Having to feed her all of my little slaughter.
I'll put them on fast. Sorry,
but I
want to record me that.
I can't listen to her on normal speed.
The one that I forwarded you so I can have them all?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll just pull them up via this way.
I'm not sure what her girlfriend Jenny's qualifications are.
Phone, so if you can, and the phone number is 606-303-2831. If somebody doesn't answer, just leave a message and we'll get back to you.
She's a lawyer.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
For the county?
Mom's trying to help
for a little while. For a little while, she was in Letcher County, and I know some people that they had problems with her, or some people said they paid her and she didn't do their case or didn't even show up, and there was all kinds of things. So, but I think she works more in Pike County now than she does Letcher. But
okay,
yeah.
And that's the other thing. This isn't just limited to Letcher County, does it? It's like
no, it stretches.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck.
You have the complaint. I'm going to
pulling
start
it up on
reading it.
Courtnet right now. I'm pulling it up on Courtnet.
Okay, well, I'm going to start reading it if it's all right with you.
Yeah,
So
get on
this
with it.
first one, it says, come the plaintiffs, Kimberly Mullins, individually as the administrator.
Yeah,
Sean
we read
was a
that.
resident of Letcher County, December 11th.
You get to the nitty gritty of it.
Okay, count one. Thank you. On or about September 19th, defendant Sean Steins intentionally and without privilege or justification placed Judge Mullins in imminent apprehension of harmful contact and made harmful contact by shooting and killing Judge Kevin Mullins in his judicial chambers. Number 11, defendant Steins' actions were undertaken willfully, wantonly, maliciously, and or with reckless disregard for the rights and safety of the plaintiffs. As a result of this intentional assault and battery, Judge Mullins succumbed to his injuries and lost his life. Number 13, pursuant to KRS 411-130, the plaintiff, as personal representative for the respective estate of Mullins, seeks recovery for the intentional acts of defendant Steins, which resulted in the death of Mullins, power to labor and earn money in parallel court. What does that mean?
I'm still trying to pull up the complaint. Basically, with civil cases, you don't lay out what was the first count because I'm still trying to pull it up.
Assault and battery.
Assault and battery. They don't go into major detail when you're in the complaint. You don't allege like, oh, they cause bruises and this or that, or gunshot wounds or this or that. It's to hit the elements, and that's all they're doing of each alleged incident of each count. Elements may have like 3 or 4.
All right. So my what do you call it? Assessment of that is that basically this is just the basics to lead into a further detail of the case. That's what I'm thinking. So they've lodged this just to touch on some of the things that they want to discuss, and then when it comes around to it, they will go into further detail.
Yeah.
That's my assessment. So, but the people that they have named in here, if it's true what they are saying, that they're trying to get information to be used in the criminal case against Mickey from these depositions, then these people must know something. That's what I'm getting. They have to. If that's the aim of this case. Because how would Christine Bolling know what Mickey was going to do? Oh, because they took her to the doctor the day before.
Well, that and she was also kind of like rumored. Well, it wasn't rumored. They were like best friends. I mean, they were close. Well, you can tell that by the video. They're close, but her phone was also taken. I think her phone was one of the only phones that was taken during the investigation.
Christine Bollings. And they did a download, or?
I don't know if they it was said that there was some kind of interaction between him and her shortly before or during, or right around the time frame of when everything happened. So
let's put it in context. All right, cool.
So
different.
Just open your email. That email that I sent you the link. The very first one is the one that you sent me, and it's got all of them. You see them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's got them all in there.
All right.
That's
I don't know
what
why everything's going slow. Courtnet sometimes runs slow.
That's all right though. We are gonna read it.
It's not, and you just have to allege certain amounts. Like you don't allege a specific amount, just a jurisdictional limit.
It's count 2, negligence of defendant Jason Eccles. Number 15, plaintiffs reallege each item set forth above as if fully set forth herein. Number 16, on or about September 19th, 24, defendant Sean Steins intentionally shot and killed Mullins in his chambers. Prior, defendant Steins exhibited concern. Defendant is judges of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. The duties imposed upon Eccles and the Letcher County Sheriff's Office with respect to providing courthouse and judicial security were ministerial in nature, involving obedience to orders set forth by statute in the Kentucky Administrative Office of the Courts, and did not involve discretionary judgment. Defendant Eccles warned Judge Mullins of this concerning and dangerous behavior.
You're reading this, and the thing is they're alleging, several defendants in this complaint, like Jason. I like Jason, and they're alleging them. But didn't Judge Mullins know about it as well?
Right.
I mean, they're saying, you know, that Mickey or Jason had a duty, and is it LaShawn? I still don't have it pulled up. Had a duty, and them. But what happens to if they know? You know, you should have known something. I'm not saying one or the other, but I mean, if it was all the talk, if they know, then Judge Mullins definitely knew.
I wondered why
her little house. She's making you barking sounds mad at me.
Go ahead. I'll finish
You
reading.
know what? I don't think that we're going to get a great deal of information out of this, to be honest.
Well, I wondered why, you know, there was so many unanswered questions.
Yeah.
You know, so many things, you know, and it makes you wonder, you know, what was this even about? Because, you know, there was no laptops taken and, you know, computers seized or, you know, none that we know of. And so there's not been a whole lot of talk about, you know, things going on. But I always wondered if they knew Mickey hadn't been acting right. And like I said, Mr. Clark would have been the one that very last, you know, one and would definitely have known that.
Yep.
You know,
why
did he clear that room? You know, he could have been like, "Hey, Mickey, let's talk about this now."
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
you know, something. I just couldn't understand why everybody just jumped and ran out of that room and didn't at least go get a cop, a guard,
yes,
something, you know, saying Mickey's not acting right. You know.
I actually think what I might do is, because I have asked for this. Did you know that you have to be a resident of Kentucky to actually obtain these orders, to obtain documents from their court?
That's odd.
Yeah. I had people trying to get this document for me yesterday, and they couldn't either. Like, I had to end up doing an email and sending it to the Teresa, who lives in Kentucky, to forward for me, because she lives there. So what I might do is just see if I can get in the next couple of days, if I do get the copy of this, and that will give me a bit of time to do a bit of a deep dive into what there is out there for Preacher Man, and then do a completely different stream, like addressing everything from this case and the connections. That might be better. Give me a bit more time to, because this only came out yesterday and I didn't get a chance to do that much information, like that much research on it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm sort of flying blind at the minute, but yeah, I think I might
like I said, there's a lot of questions with him. I've got thousands of them.
From the very, very start, Teresa said something's up with him. Something's up with him. She has pointed the finger at him from the get-go.
Yeah.
She's normally spot on. So I need to deep dive into that.
Well, I mean, you got to think he's a motivational speaker. I mean,
yeah. I initially thought that he had the contacts to obtain all the drugs.
when you get an opportunity, though, and you back the video up just enough that him and Mickey's coming down that little hallway, getting ready to come into the room, just real quick, notice he side glances up at that camera like somebody would if they were, you know, going in to case a place or rob a place, and you know, you don't want to look at the camera, but you look at the camera. Just go back and look
in the video.
at it. Yes, it's part of the video of, you know, as they're walking into the chambers together, and they come around the corner.
So this is after lunch.
Yes. Yes, it's after lunch. It's when they come back from delivering the dinners. You see them coming. Let's see.
So, yeah.
That's
Mickey's car there, isn't it? That big.
Right. Well, no, it's the truck.
Is that Mickey? Yes.
Yeah, right there. And they'll come in. And as they come in, let's see, hang on.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, look what he does with the camera. Right here. He glanced up at it. Just kind of
So the camera is where?
right here, watch. There's
So we're
one.
looking at,
Keep an eye on him.
oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Wrong button.
Right there. And he'll glance up at it. You'll catch it right as he goes by. Right here.
Let me slow it. Hang on. Playback speed. Half. Right.
Watch.
What's he looking at there? What's in
There's
that
a
corner?
There's a camera up in the top of the corner. And then he'll glance right here. Oh,
Okay.
it may. And then they go in.
Is that the smoking room before the chambers?
No, that's, if I'm not mistaken, they went right in through the chamber. Yeah.
Okay.
Smoking. Yeah. But he glanced over at that corner like,
Yeah, what is he looking at? Is that just a corridor? Like a wall?
A wall. A wall with a camera. That's all it is. I felt like he was kind of looking at the camera. But he kind of props up on that filing cabinet there.
Yeah, and Mickey's at the doorway. So he knows that Mickey's about to kick them out. For sure. He has to.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you can tell he's...
Yeah.
See, if you could see if he's talking right now, it would... But you can't... It looks like him and Mickey are having an exchange is what I thought, but...
Mickey's talking, but I think he's telling everyone to...
That's what I didn't understand. Right.
Why is he closing the door? And Preacher Man...
He's first one out. You know, he got up, shut the door, then told him to get out. It just
doesn't even look back. Nothing.
Nothing.
Look back.
And that's what I'm saying. Right then, he should have, as a friend, knowing both of them like he said he did, he should have went and said, we got a problem. I think we got a problem. We need to go in here and whatever.
So why hasn't he been named in this wrongful death suit then?
Right. He's not been named in that. He's not
because
been.
He was the last person to speak. Like.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And he doesn't have, as far as I know, a testimony or whatever that they done with all of them.
I need to dig. They would have had to have interviewed him for sure. They had to.
Because they did everybody else in that room.
Yeah.
So where is his and why is it being held?
Yeah. I need to do some digging. And no, there isn't any audio. And the only reason there is a CCTV footage, Simi, is because of the Ben Fields and Sabrina Atkins. Like, because Sabrina accused Ben of the sexual misconduct in this room. And so they installed the CCTV footage because of that. And he was found guilty. Well,
I also think it had to do with Mullins too, because at that time, you know, that had come out about him also. But they hadn't done anything, you know what I mean? She said it, they overlooked it, but still it had been said, and you know, in that community known.
Yeah. Does Sarah know of anyone that was interviewed for this or not? Because she was working at the prison then, wasn't she?
She had, no, she wasn't at the jail then. She had worked from December to February, I think. And then this happened in September, but she was living there in town when it happened, right across the street. So
All right. I'm going to have to, yeah.
Do
I
some
just-
hunting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if anyone else finds anything, if you can shoot me a copy of it, that would be freaking amazing.
Alrighty. I'll see
Yeah.
what I can find.
Yeah. And if you wanted to do, like we'll wait till after Friday, obviously, but if you wanted to do show all the messages and shit to do with your child care, like your grandkids, I'm more than happy to do that as well. If you
Okay.
want to
Thank
go
you.
down that route, no worries. I still haven't heard back from Tyre, so I hope she's okay. I'm guessing that she's probably gone to bed because she's got a court date tomorrow. And
Yeah, and she, bless her heart, she was so puffy and swelled when I did talk to her early. It was real early this morning. Me and her both got up but went back to bed, and she was pretty puffy, and yeah, we both was like, let's go back to bed.
Yep, that's why I'm backwards and forwards to the toilet. There's fluid tablets. All right. Well, are you going with her to court in the morning?
She hasn't said anything. I was going to wait and see if she wanted me or needed me. So no, tomorrow morning's her daughter. Her daughter's in the morning, so she'll be with her in the morning. Right?
That's at Letcher County, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right. Well, I'll probably touch base with you guys tomorrow night. Anyway,
all right.
And I'll hear you. Let me know how she goes. And yeah. All right. Send her all my love and support, and same with Leah.
I'll tell them both. I'll tell them.
Thank you.
I had fun.
And you can join us anytime, my darling, anytime you like.
Well, like I said, I can fill in all the little county gossip that goes along with everything. So
you've got 20 years of watching this unfold.
A long time.
Yeah. All right, sweetheart. Well, you sleep well, and I hope you're feeling better, and look after yourself, okay? And I will be sending as much positive vibes for you for Friday as well. Give Sarah my love.
All righty, I will.
Okay, I'll have everything crossed.
All right. Thank you, all. It was fun. Good night.
Good night, sweetheart. Bye. No, she's such a darling. Such a darling. All right. Well, yeah, I think I've got some work to do. Just quietly. So yes, stay tuned. Yeah, we're gonna have to postpone the spillage of the tea, I think, until this week's over, because it's going to be a really stressful one for the girls, and I don't want to add any more to that. So I'll do an update with them all together, I think. So thank you very, very much for joining us, and apologise again for the delays. Yeah, it's hard to coordinate multiple people and multiple time zones. But we'll get there. We'll get there. And we need to get this word out to the public, because it's, in a word, fucked. Just fucked. It's bullshit. There is no justice. There is no rights. These women and people of the community have been stripped completely. Now, thank you, Dylan. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And I'll see you when I'm looking at you. If you can't be good, be careful. No, if you can't be good at it. Hasta la vista, bitches.
Hey there, thanks for stopping in. We hope you will join us again. We all look forward to next time. We get to talk about true crime. Clues. Justice served in an honest fight. True crime tales till the verdict's right. Solving more than just trivial quests, where sentences rule and the defense rests. Our true crime family is great. the topics we debate. Smash that like and ring that bell. Hit subscribe, you might as well.